what's up, you guys? My name is Grace Lauren Taylor, and you are listening to episode 29 of the Trauma Dump Podcast. Thank you so much for joining us. Here at the Trauma Dump Podcast, we seek to answer the question, what is mental health? How do I take care of my own, and how do I support others? This week, we will be discussing the topic of seasonal depression with my very best friend, Lynn, otherwise known as Claude Beauty on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. If you don't know Claude Beauty, have you been under a rock? She is one of the most amazing people in the entire world, and she's a huge mental health advocate and a lover of all things alternative, monster energy, just like the best vibes ever in the entire world. So I did my makeup today. Usually I don't do my makeup for the podcast if you've been watching us on YouTube for a while. But I did my makeup today because this is the last day of 2023. We record these episodes a few weeks in advance to give me time to edit them because I am a disabled individual and I never know whether I'm going to have a seizure or not. So we record these episodes in advance. So today is December 31st, the last day of the year. And I am extremely blessed to have Catlin in my life. And I'm extremely blessed to be able to talk about seasonal depression with Catlin. If you'd like to share on the show, please message us in the podcast Discord along with your unique experiences and we will match you to the right episode. And just a quick disclaimer before we start, I am not a licensed health professional, okay? This podcast only seeks to create community and further understanding of these topics that are so often overlooked and extremely misunderstood. If you or a loved one are in need of medical professional help, we have so many different resources in our description. The topics discussed here are for a mature audience, so viewer discretion is always advised. And if you love Catlin, like I love Catlin, please go follow her. She is the same username on every single platform. It is Claude_Beauty101. So please go give Claude Beauty a follow. Guys, if you like this episode, please hit the like button. It really helps us podcast out a lot. And if you feel compelled to, please subscribe and share it with your friends. It really, really helps me out a lot, and it helps other people become more trauma informed. For those of you dealing with any sort of crisis around seasonal depression, the crisis text line is 741-741. Let's get into this episode. Hello. How you doing, bestie?
Hello. I'm doing amazing.
Yeah?
Yes, I got my plushie, his Valentine's Day Hello Kitty, and it's making me feel so much more better and comfortable today right now.
Good.
I'm not anxious to be here.
Yeah, of course not. This is not your first time.
Mm-mm.
This is definitely not your first time talking to me. We talk almost every day.
We do.
Look at my plushie.
Oh, you have your own anxiety? I am fine. It's a dumpster fire. Oh
yes,
my gosh, that is
it is
adorable.
a dumpster fire.
We have our anxiety buddies. That is amazing.
We do. So, hello. Welcome to the podcast, Catlin. Oh my goodness. It's been a day. I already told Catlin, but I spilled eyeliner all over my... I had a really cute shirt on, and I spilled eyeliner all over it, and I just was like, we're not going to let this ruin my day. Come on.
No, you do not, especially eyeliner. Plus, like, girl, what kind of eyeliner are you using that makes a mess like that?
It's like in a little jar, and it's liquid. So I handshake occasionally. My hands was shaking, and I spilled it on myself.
Is it like this?
No, it's a little pan, and you wet it, and then you use a brush.
Got it.
And so it didn't spill the entire contents of the eyeliner, but like the stuff that was wet on top got me.
And you're like, well.
Yeah, exactly. Joey doesn't like my eyeliner. Joey is canceled.
Girl, I thought it looked amazing. I was going to tell you, it looks great. I thought it makes your eyes pop, the glitter and the shine.
Thank you.
It makes the colors just very, like, it's satisfying to look at.
Good.
So Joey doesn't know what he's talking about. Is he a makeup artist? No.
No.
Does he wear makeup? No. So I don't think he has a say. He does not have a say.
He does not have a say.
I wear makeup. I did butterfly wings today, so I can say it looks amazing.
It looks so good. I love your rave makeup today. Ooh.
Thank you. I thought it'd be a different look than last time.
Yeah, it is a different look. Is this your New Year's look?
This is my New Year's look. I'm like, I'll show you the dress real quick, but like, it's a little zebra.
Stunning.
It's a zebra print dress. It's very 2000s, and I'm like, let's go for it.
It's stunning. 10 out of
Okay.
10. I love it. Oh my goodness. We did a little outfit tour. Outfit tour. I just have Texas Tech sweatshirt.
It has a butterfly on it. It's cute.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about seasonal depression. And for those of you that do not know what seasonal depression is, seasonal depressive disorder, or SAD, is a mood disorder characterized by depression that occurs the same time every year. It's also called seasonal affective disorder. It occurs in climates where there is less sunlight at certain times of the year. Less sunlight and shorter days are thought to be linked to a chemical change in the brain and may be a part of the cause of SAD. Melatonin, a sleep hormone, is also linked to SAD. The body naturally makes more melatonin when it's dark. So when the days are shorter and darker, more melatonin is made. SAD is also sometimes known as winter depression because the
Mm-hmm.
symptoms are usually more apparent and more severe during the winter. And
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of people have seasonal affective disorder during the summer too, which is I
Mm-hmm.
think really interesting. It's
It
like,
depends. It could be
yeah.
for summer or winter or different It really depends on the person, but it's amazing how it can affect people differently.
And let's get into those symptoms. So, some of those symptoms include a persistent low mood, a loss of pleasure or interest in normal everyday activities, irritability, feelings of
Mm-hmm.
despair, guilt, or worthlessness,
Yep.
feeling lethargic, which means lacking energy, and sleepy during the day, sleeping for longer than normal and finding it hard to get up in the morning, craving carbohydrates and gaining weight, difficulty concentrating, decreased sex drive. So those are
Oh
some
my gosh,
symptoms.
yes.
Yeah.
I could definitely speak with the food one.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna go too much in detail about it, but like it's hard to eat when I will say this, we do struggle with an eating disorder. And that doesn't help either. Either we were recently diagnosed with it, we didn't know we had it, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you have this." We're like, "Oh, I did not know that was possible. I didn't know that was an eating disorder." So it's
Mhm.
different for everybody. But anyways, when it's for me, when a seasonal depression hits, I don't want to eat a meal. I feel sick. It's not that I don't want to eat a meal because I don't want to. I feel too sick because my mood is so down. When you're just down, you don't want to eat much of any meal. You want a snack. You're very snacky. So I will eat any and all snacks in a tremendous amounts. Like I'll eat a whole jar of cheese balls in a day. I'll eat a whole thing of cookies. I'll buy a bunch of cookies. Just when you're that low, your energy, you don't want to cook. You don't want to go to buy the store and make a meal. You don't want that. You want something cheap, easy, and quick because you're so low energy. And
Mhm.
and not that we don't choose to eat, it's that we can't. Our body is just tired, it's drained, it feels sick. Especially if you have trauma around the holidays, that does not help with your seasonal depression. I also think it's why like there's different seasons of depression for it's different for everybody because of trauma. It depends on when most of the trauma happened. And unfortunately for me, November to December and January is a big bad time for me where a lot of traumatic things happened.
Yeah. Yeah. How are you feeling right now? Are you doing okay?
I am doing, I'm actually doing really, really good right now. And what's been helping is knowing when to call people. 'Cause I call you when if I'm not doing well, if I have those thoughts flying to self-harm, I call you or I call Ellie, I call Lex, and I'm doing better. But the only reason why I am doing better is because I have people I can call. But also during my seasonal depression, um, I had to be easy on myself. I'm not as active to do videos. I'm not as active to get stuff done. And that's part of my job, which means during this time I make less money because I am more focused on myself. And I gotta let myself know that is okay. That is okay. My spouse is like, we make more than enough. My spouse doesn't like kick me in the butt about it. He's like, hey, take care of you first. And it's easy to guilt trip ourselves when it comes to all that. It is very easy to especially when it comes to work, you feel like you're being lazy. Oh, I can't go to work because my depression. I'm being lazy, or people call you lazy a lot. Like I've gotten that from people where they're like, "Oh, so you're not doing content? Oh, so you're not doing photos? Oh, you're not doing videos? Okay, that's pretty lazy of you." And I'm like, I can't. I. It's like dealing with seasonal depression, it's almost like you're in a bubble, but it's frozen on the outside. It's weird for me to explain it. That's how I feel. Like, it's like I'm trying to push out, but I can't break through that. It's like you're locked. It's not people being lazy. It's not you being worthless. It's when depression hits, it hits hard and you just can't get locked. You're locked in that bubble.
Exactly. And a lot of people who have symptoms, they can be extremely severe and cause
Oh,
significant impact on their day-to-day activities and even
being
like
able to clean and
work.
stuff too.
Hmm.
I know a lot of people, followers who told me stories like, hey, my house is filthy, my house is dirty, I have cups everywhere, I haven't showered in weeks. And people be like, ew, that's gross. And I'm like, you don't know what like living with that. So number one, you are not to judge someone else's mental disorder. Like it may be gross to you, but try to understand what's going on in their head. And that's why, like, whenever my friends deal with depression or their house is a mess, I'm always like, hey, do you need a hand? When would you like a hand? Like, because it makes them feel better. It makes them feel like, wow, you don't see this as a burden. You don't see me as a burden. And it's sad. It can cause a lot of different scary symptoms. It can get really, really bad. I know mine is not as bad as some people's, and I'm not trying to like disregard mine. But I know there are people who suffer way, way worse, where they can't even clean a litter box. They can't cook for themselves, or they're ordering, there's trash everywhere. And they don't need to. They're not being lazy. It's depression locking them in, and they just can't get out.
Yeah, I remember when I was 14 years old, I went through a really bad depressive episode, and it was, I think, yeah, so here's what happened. A little backstory. I
Go for
crashed
it.
an ATV, which is like a four-wheeler, through two barbed wire fences, split open this eyelid, shattered this arm. And so January after that, I was homeschooled at the time, and I felt so incredibly alone and depressed. And I also went to an actual school, but I was getting so bullied at that school. My mother pulled me
Why?
out.
Why
I
was
don't
he
know.
bullied by me about
I
me
I was
asking?
one of the only quote white people, even though I'm not white, even though I'm mixed race. It was mostly Hispanic. It was all girl school. It was mostly Hispanic young women.
Oh,
And so they called me a lot of weird slurs, and even black slurs too. They called
oh
me
my
both of them.
gosh.
Yeah, it wasn't great. And while my arm was broken, one girl shoved me down a flight of stairs. So yeah, my mom took me out of the school. So I was like really, really depressed. And my
Sounds like a
eyelid,
good time to, all right, time to get the bat.
you're
Time to
getting
get
the
the bat.
bat.
Time to get the bat. That is horrible. I am so sorry. You know you don't deserve that, right?
Oh no, I did not. Absolutely
Yeah,
not.
good. Okay, good. That is
Yeah. It
horrendous.
was crazy. And I have nothing against, I am not a racist person. I have no racist bone in my body. I'm literally every race, guys. If we pull up my DNA chart, I'm literally everything, and it's kind of crazy. But one of my best friends, Martha, she is Hispanic, and she has told me several times, she's like, there's something that has happened like with her growing up where she's not Hispanic enough for the Hispanic girls, and they'll
I've
like
heard about
attack
stories
her.
about that. I've heard about that, like whereas with people who are darker skinned, that people say, "Are you not dark enough for us group, but you're not light enough for that group?" I've heard of stories like that, and it breaks my heart because it should not matter your skin color. You're a person. It is the color of your skin, and unfortunately, people are mistreated due to that. And it makes
Yeah.
me. It's like look at the crayon box. Like, oh, look, there's blue, there's yellow, there's green. They're all. You don't see crayons being racist.
Yeah.
You don't see dogs being racist. Like, why do we have to be that way?
I
I
really don't
hate
know.
that.
I really don't
Why?
know.
I don't under. That's one thing I have a hard time understanding. Right? Why does racism exist? It shouldn't.
It
Why are the
shouldn't.
stereotypes out there that shouldn't exist either? It
Yeah.
just. Well, I'm sorry. I have a very strong emotion about that. That's
Hmm.
and it just upsets me
Hmm.
that people will look at someone and judge them just because they're a different skin color, they're a different crayon color.
Yeah. And I'm mixed race, so everybody in my family is kind of a different hue, is what I would say.
Yeah.
In my dad's side of the family, I don't have any cousins or anything like that on my mom's side, but I have 13 cousins on my dad's side. We're all different shades, so I never knew what racism was until I went to that school. I it it was so weird. And the only people that were nice to me were the black girls. I was one of 3 white people,
Oh,
white quote quote, at that
you
school.
white passing. Is that the
White
word you want to
passing,
use?
yeah.
There we
Well,
go.
the
Okay.
other 2 girls were white, like Irish, which they were super nice to me too. But the black girls really, really took me in, like 100%, loved me. And it was one of these girls, and I'm not going to mention her name, but I'm going to call her S, that she was like, Grace, I really think that these girls are going to put a hit out on you. Like they hate you for some reason. I don't know why they hate you, but they hate you. And so she let my mother know. My mother removed me from that school, but
Well,
I
I'm
got,
glad to hear. I'm glad to hear that.
yeah, I got really, really depressed because I will admit this. I do have a problem with people not liking me because I don't take it as an offense. I take it as a how can I fix what they don't like, you
You
know?
can't, girl. Girl, no, you can't.
I know I can't, but I have this like internalized issue of when people don't like me, I want to understand why, like their
Well,
perspective of why they
I
don't like
understand.
me.
I understand that because, like, when I first started TikTok, I tried to please everybody and not go on my own beliefs. And I'm not talking about from followers. I'm talking about from my own family. Love your family. But um, I try to please them because I knew they were watching me. And all of a sudden, when I got married, I'm like, screw this. I decided to be who I am. Like, I understand, like, if you're doing something actually wrong and you want to make sure you apologize, I understand that completely. But the strangers online, like, I know I have a lot of Christians who do not like me because, like, you support the LGBTQIA. I'm like, I do. Hooray! It pisses them off. Or they'll be like, you can't dress alternative and be Christian, or you're gonna be hell because you married someone who's non-binary. It's crap like that. And I'm gonna ignore that. I don't care. I'm not here to please. I think, okay, I put this. There's fixing and there's pleasing. You
Mhm.
gotta separate the two. Are you
Mhm.
trying to fix something that's wrong? Are you trying to please something they're asking?
Yeah. So I so 14-year-old little Grace. And mind you, at this time, I was the skinniest I'd ever been. I had a really bad eating disorder where I wouldn't eat for weeks on end, and I'm not kidding on that. I would not eat for a week, not anything. All I would have was water or emergency. That was
I remember
legitimately
when
all I had.
I went through something similar at the age of 13. I understand that.
Yeah. And so I was the skinniest I had ever been. My hair had just been like chopped at a weird angle because I got tangled in the barbed wire when I crashed. So I got so depressed that I did not brush my hair for 7 weeks. And I don't know if you guys can
Oh,
see me. Like, I have very curly hair. Now, my hair is kind of relaxed, is what I would say right now, because I
yeah,
put products in my hair to prevent it from getting huge.
yeah.
But my hair, and also I thin it out myself because I get a lot of hair. Like one pore will have 4 hairs growing out of it. It's like a lot of hair. And so I had a lot of hair. I did not brush it for 7 weeks. I had mats all over the back of my neck, everywhere. And my mother did not give a shit. My dad, however, was very, very worried. And I remember one day he took the door off of my room because he was like, "You're not gonna stay in your room forever. You need to come out and see the world." And so one day, he used apple cider vinegar and baking soda, and he just washed my hair for, like, an hour, and then he spent, like, 2 hours, like, meticulously combing out my knots, and
Oh, what a
it was one of
dad.
the, like, nicest acts of love. I know so many people will be like, "He took your door off your room?" Okay, it wasn't a privacy issue.
No,
It was
he was trying to really, it, I understand is not for everybody, but for you, it's what you needed.
yeah, my dad rest in peace. He was one of the most amazing men ever, period, point blank. Extremely brilliant person. But he took the door off, so my brother and he paid my brothers like 50 cents every time they would come see me. Be like, "Go see your sister. Go hang out with your sister." Which my youngest brother was in my room all the time and he didn't care about the money, but the middle brother, he was motivated. But yeah, and eventually, once the summer rolled around, I did get a lot better, and then I got into a couple musicals, and then I got a lot better,
Girl,
but
amazing.
I I do have a connection with seasonal depression because now, yes, the holidays have rolled around, and, my dad has passed away, both my grandfathers have passed away, and the holidays was a really big thing for my dad's side of the family, and
Oh, yeah.
it's it feels wrong almost. I mean, I got engaged on
Oh, yeah.
Christmas, so that was great and
Yes,
fun,
my girl did.
but I don't know.
It How do I explain this?
It
The
feels
holidays
feels like I'm lost, to be honest.
the holidays, I know is the biggest reason why people have seasonal depression. I know that's one of the biggest reasons. And for me, I had been sexually abused on Thanksgiving. I was 16. I'm not going to go into detail who it was. Um, and then Christmas, I had been physically abused as a child when I was 7. We have an uncle who's really rough and who would get drunk and sometimes he'd get a little bit too physical. And it's it's a nightmare for some people to live through the holidays because it is a reminder of what happened, and the fear of what's going to happen again. It's going to happen, especially if it's year after year after year after year after year. Or maybe sometimes, like for me with the physical abuse, it would happen one year, next year it didn't happen, so you get hopeful maybe will happen again. That does happen again, and we no longer spend time with those people at all. It 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 okay. Number one, the holidays is already a key memory, a core memory.
Mhm.
And then you have trauma connected to that core memory now. That that locks in with you, and that changes everything on how you see the holiday, if it was going to happen during the holiday, especially New Year's. Especially with like New Year's stuff. I have trauma with New Year's. I'm not gonna go. I'm not. Unfortunately, I cannot say with what happened on that one. Um, it's it changes your perspective because the end you see is supposed to be this time of happiness and joy and something to look forward to, and all of a sudden someone comes in and screws it up for you, and it's something you did not deserve, and you're like, I didn't deserve this,
Yeah.
and then that seasonal depression then kicks in. It's the holidays is no longer something you look forward to. It is something now you despise.
Yeah.
It, and luckily, it's gotten better for me now that I'm no longer connected to any of those people. And I have good people I spent it with. Like Christmas, I spent it with my best friends, Ellie and Malaxon, who I consider to be my honorary family. And I spent Thanksgiving with them as well. And oh, if you guys have any kind of holiday trauma, please remove yourself from the people who are causing it and find yourself honorary family. Because let me tell you, that has been the most healing thing in my life. Is creating a new form of family, is creating a new form of tradition. That's helped me get through my season. The seasonal depression doesn't magically go away, okay? It doesn't. But it helps you get through it more easily and communicate. Can you tell your friends, tell your people, hey, this is a really hard time for me because of this? And they will be understanding. And they'll be like, oh, okay, well, is there anything I can do to help? Is there something I can do that will make it easier for you? Do you want to go someplace? Because I know for me, during the some of my comfort place is Marshalls. And during that time, this whole thing was happening, Colin or Ellen and Alexa would be like, do you want to go to Marshalls? do you want to go to Marshall's? And I'd be like, yes, yes. Like going to comfort places like that and spending a little money on myself, it helps me get through the holidays. Because it gives something to look forward to. Like they have a bunch of new Hello Kitty stuff, so I naturally bought so much Hello Kitty stuff from them. But it's to help me get through the holidays. Is those little things that spark in my life. Like do that. That's what helps me get through the holidays and the season of depression so far.
Exactly. Exactly, babe. Yeah. And Catlin and I are best friends.
Yes, we
Yes, we are. We became best friends because of this podcast, because I reached out to her and I was like, "Hi, I want to bet my podcast." And then we became like fast best friends, like
Yeah,
for sure.
really quickly because the first podcast I was like, I really like this girl, and then we start calling with doing crafts or trying to get through something that happened. Like this just happened to me, girl. We're like, okay, let's get through this. And you
Mm-hmm.
broke your poor hand.
You know, when it broke my hand, I was like, and she stayed on the phone with me while I'm trying to drive home for like almost an hour, like crying.
And but girl, it was worth it. It was worth it, girly. Listen, like, I don't think that happened. Listen, I know if that happened to me, I would want someone to be right there. It's just,
Yeah,
it's nice knowing someone sees you and goes, I'll stay for you. Like, come on,
exactly.
that hits hard. You know, like when you're crying and someone goes, "See ya." Actually, when I attempted, that happened.
What? Who?
Uh,
When did this happen?
I can't. I'm not gonna say who. So when I had attempted, back in July of 25th, I had called someone, and apparently they were out to dinner with a friend doing a movie thing, and they just went, "Hey, I gotta go." And I'm like, "Okay." And I was begging them to give me a reason to stay alive. I was begging them to tell me that cause that left me. That honestly is what led me to not calling anybody else that night. That was one of the final straws. I went, well, if I'm gonna be a burden to this person, um, I don't want to call anybody else and be a burden to them. This was before I knew you.
That
I
makes me
did not.
so sad.
I I didn't tell that part of my story in my video thing because I didn't want. They know who they are. They've apologized for it. It still hurts because they admitted like they weren't sure how to handle the situation. They weren't sure what to do. They weren't sure what to say. And I'm like, you could have said anything. You could have said, hey, call someone else. Hey, call Ellie, or hey, do this. Like, say something to me that gives me a reason to stay alive. And I understand like this person just didn't know how to respond or how to react. Do something. As it wasn't this wasn't their fault. Like I had chosen to attempt on my own. That didn't help. It didn't help. Um, so I that oh God. If you know someone who is suicidal, I know that this isn't for the podcast or anything, I just want to say it randomly. If you know someone who's suicidal, please don't just leave them. Please tell them, hey, it's gonna be tell them something, tell them something. Because that can save a life. That can save a life.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I laughed. When it comes to talking about when it comes to suicide, I like to make it lighthearted and joke about it. Because I had attempted. Um, but I am learning to how to stop doing that because I can't joke about that anymore because I did. I joke as a form of coping. I joke so I can mentally try to pretend it didn't happen to remove myself from the situation because it was so bad. But I'm learning that I'm not a joke. My life's not a joke. I'm gotten used to being the joke that I've started treating myself like one. Wow, that just really hit hard. I didn't realize that. I'm not the joke. Sorry, that's something that clicked in my brain randomly. I'm sorry.
It's good. Don't ever apologize. And
But
for
like,
those of you guys listening, if you know someone struggling or in a crisis, or if you are in a crisis, please call or text 988. Okay. You'll be able to speak with a trained crisis counselor anytime, day or night. Okay. It's an important resource. So 988, or you can text the crisis text line, which is 741-741. They're available 24/7, and it's completely confidential.
That's amazing that people that they have that now. That is so helpful. I wish I knew that existed because sorry, I know this was completely off track from what we were talking
It's
about.
not off track. It's where your brain went. It's not off
So
track.
I laugh because I think myself I'm a joke, but I'm not a joke, but I would treat it like I have a joke. So then I'm learning how to not laugh at my situations and think this is something that really happened. I'm growing from this, but I didn't deserve it. So I'm okay. I'm sorry.
Don't apologize. Don't apologize. You're okay. You
I
went through
didn't.
it,
It was really bad.
and you're
It's
still
just.
here.
hmm
I'm glad you're still here.
I'm glad I'm still here.
I'm
Because I would
very,
have
very
met
glad.
you. I would have met other followers. I would have
Hmm.
met TX2. There's so many other friends that I never would have met if I didn't call. Damn, like and it's right. I remember when I tried. So I tried to hang myself, and I know exactly where the tree is. It's right in my backyard, and that's just. I convinced myself before that I would never have the balls to do it. But the problem was that I was a ticking time bomb. I was already a ticking time bomb. And some people will be like, well, we never saw that coming. We never saw that coming. And yeah, most times you don't because it's a bomb waiting to explode. It's hidden. It's light. It just takes one little step. Let me go. You may not see it coming, but it does come. Sorry, that was.
It's okay.
Uh, it's hard to talk about it.
I know. I know it's hard.
I'm fidgeting.
Yeah. Do you want
I'm
to show
sorry.
everybody your new tattoo?
Yes, so I had a scar cover up done, and there's a song that saved my life back in 2018. It says Under the Knife, Icon for Hire, and it covered up some self-harm scars I had up here. I absolutely hate my scars, so I'm getting them all cut tattooed up. I'm getting a tattoo right here. There's no scars right here, but like it's so I don't cut there. So I'm getting tattoos right here. Next week, actually.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so excited. I can't wait. Yeah. Well, I'm I'm very, very happy to have met you and to know you and to call you one of my best friends and then future bridesmaid.
Bridesmaid.
Bridesmaid. But because I genuinely do not know what I would do in like this world without you and Martha and Abby. Like you guys are my best friends.
I feel the
And
exact same way.
it's just like I'm really glad you're here still. And if you ever need me,
I'll let you know, girl. I got you now. See?
we got the phone. 'Cause uh we haven't met in person yet, but we are best friends and you're gonna come over once I get my house. Yeah, Joey and I are going to get a house in April, and I just can't wait because I'm gonna make we're gonna have at least 3 bedrooms. One of them is gonna be a podcast room, but like one of the bedrooms, I'm gonna do it up nice. I'm gonna do it up
Yes.
nice, a nice guest room where there's
Oh,
gonna
we
be
can help. We can help
comfy
with
things
everything.
everywhere. I know. I'm excited. I'm really, really excited. But the exact cause of seasonal affective disorder is not fully understood. It's really linked to reduced exposure to sunlight most times during
I
the shorter autumn and winter days. And then,
actually they encourage my psychiatrist recommended if you do have seasonal depression, take vitamin D. Eat a lot of
Mhm.
vitamin D. My doctors told me that. And I was like, really? Like I really didn't understand why. They're like, well, you have seasonal depression. I'm like, well, what is that? And they're like, oh, well, it's this. And I'm like, so I have to take vitamin D? They're like, yep. And eat as much vitamin D as possible, because if you don't, your depression will hit twice as hard.
Exactly. And the main theory is the lack of sunlight might stop a part of the brain called the hypothalamus working properly, which may affect the production of melatonin, which melatonin, again, is the hormone that makes you feel sleepy. And people with SAD, the body may produce it way too much, way higher
Mm-hmm.
than normal levels. It also affects the production of serotonin, and serotonin is a
Uh-huh.
hormone. Yeah, it's a hormone that affects your mood, your appetite, your sleep, and a lack
Yep.
of sunlight lowers serotonin levels, which is
Yep.
linked to feelings of depression. It also affects your body's circadian rhythm, your body's internal
Yep.
clock. Your body
Yep.
uses sunlight to time various important functions, such as when you wake up.
Yep.
So, lower light levels during the winter may disrupt your body's clock and lead to symptoms of seasonal
Ser
affectiveness disorder.
Serotonin helps relieve a lot of stress. It helps relieve the heart from heart attacks, your lungs, your stomach. If you're not making enough serotonin, you cannot fight back the stress. And I hate it when people say, you can't have a heart attack from stress. You can't die. Yes, you can.
You can. You can die from
Holy, excuse my
stress.
language this one time. Holy shit, yes, you can. I I'm someone that does not, so I was someone that did not make enough serotonin. And I had severe health problems and panic attacks because I was not making enough serotonin to help combat different things in my body. Serotonin helps relieve so many things. So please, please check to make sure your serotonin levels are good and right, and see ways to boost your serotonin when you're depressed, because oh my gosh, that will help combat so many things in your life. Help your body in, like, oh my gosh. So I had really bad ulcers and stuff like that. And as some of you guys know, I did have some cancer in my stomach and beginning of my small intestine, which is now gone, but I have cancer in my uterus still. And oh my gosh, you start making serotonin, it affects everything. I didn't realize how much it affected the body until, like, a doctor told me. It helps with so much. But you're right, it affects the appetite, it affects the stress, it affects the breathing, it affects the heart, it affects everything. And if you're not getting enough serotonin or finding ways to boost it, like I did my daily walks to my pet store, that I was looking at animals. That boosts my little serotonin. Um, but I'm medicated now, and that's, oh my gosh, it's helped me so much. I can't express how much serotonin is important. You can die from stress. You can have a heart attack from stress. You can have so develop cancer from stress. That is possible. And I don't want people to think, well, it's just a little stress. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm. It's a big deal. It affects you in the long run. As someone who's dealt with that, serotonin is so important. It's so much more important than people realize. Sorry, I was very passionate about the subject, but it is so important, more
It
than what
is.
people realize. If you're
Hmm.
not taking time out of your day just to get little things of serotonin, taking medication or something, a supplement, something, take something. It will help. Just trust me, it will help. Your body can't relax without it. It helps your body to relax, to relieve itself from the stress of the day.
Exactly. And for me, I have two dogs. I have Gigi, who's my service dog, and then we just got a
And
puppy.
Mochi.
Mochi. Oh, she's so cute. We have Gigi and Mochi. So Gigi has usually hated the dog park because we found out that she doesn't like big dogs because she was raised with cats. So she likes little dogs. Even though she's 65 pounds, she's like, I hate big dogs. She she gets so annoyed. So since Mochi's a puppy, we took them both to the small dog park, and Gigi was so excited, like running around. And that brought me so much joy to see Gigi like running around and playing with all the little dogs and just being so excited. And so Joey and I have been taking Gigi and Mochi to the park every day. And the sunlight, bro, that sunlight slaps. It feels so good.
Oh, especially when you look beautiful, you're like, yes, shine on my
Yeah.
body. Like,
Dude, and yesterday I met a little alt baby. One of your alt babies. I met one. Yeah. Isn't it
You
crazy?
did?
I
You met
did.
one?
Yeah. Yeah. Her name
Hi,
is
okay.
Tilly. Her name is Tilly.
Hey,
Shout out
Tilly.
Tilly.
Tilly,
Shout
you see
out.
this? Hi.
Shout out. She had like a really cool bridge and then like two nose rings. So like one right here and one right here. And then she had like her lip pierced. She looks so good. I turned to her and I was like, "You look so good. I know my friend Kat Lynn would love it." She was like, "Kat Lynn?" I was like, "Yeah, my friend Kat Lynn." She was like, "Claude Beauty, Kat Lynn?" It's like,
Yeah.
"Yeah." It's like, "Yeah, that's my friend." She's like, "You know Kat Lynn?" I was like, "Yeah, I do." It was so cute. She was so cute. She's like 17 years old. So we talked for a while. She's so sweet. But yeah. Shout out Tilly. Hi.
I love these all unique, these very unique names. I love it. Especially like I know I met this. I don't remember they're non-binary transgender, but I remember at the Lorain County Fair. If you see this, I remember you. This sweetheart named Pumpkin. That was their chosen name. I've never forgotten it because I thought that was the cutest name for someone to give. Someone was like, "That's weird. That's strange." I think every name someone gives to themselves is unique and purposeful to them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't find it weird or strange. I think it's beautiful because my brain goes, wow, I think about autumn crisp, that light, airy refreshingness. And my brain goes, that must be the personality, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And that
Yeah,
tastes like that's what I think of. I thought it was the most beautiful name I think I've ever heard. As weird as the weirdest that is, I think is beautiful.
I think it's beautiful too. Pumpkin.
I know, right? Isn't it cute?
It is so cute. And it makes me, because I'm from Texas, it makes me, oh, my sweet little pumpkin. Oh.
Exactly. It's like
Mm-hmm.
a tender, loving thing, I guess. It's I don't know. It sounds. That's what I'm looking for. Motherly,
Mm-hmm.
tending me, like very. I heard it's to like tend to their need and care, I guess.
Mm-hmm. It's a very enduring name.
Yes, but it gives me serotonin. Just like little things like that, seeing followers be happy and glee and everything. Like I love. We met a follower. I think they were Ethereum. There was a symbol on their arm. I am assuming is Syrian. And I don't connect with the community, but I love them either way. But we met at Therian, and I forgot their name, but they were the most adorable, sweetest thing. And my brain goes, you know what? I may not understand different things, but like as long as you're not being a creep and you're being you and you're being beautiful, I love you all the way. And that brings me so much serotonin when I see them happy. There was this one sweetheart. Shoot, let me see her real quick. I remember her name. There was this one girl we met at a Forever 21, Ash. And they look like a beautiful. They think of Melanie Martinez. But I met them at Forever 21, and seeing this girl realize who I was brought me so much serotonin because their face lights up, like they come to life, and I'm like, I love making them happy. I love seeing them their face realize there's hope, there's love here, and safety. This girl is shaking and scared, and I'm like, hey, can I hold your hands? Is that okay? I ask always. Also, if you are a content creator and you meet a follower, always ask for permission before hugging them, before putting your arm around their shoulder. Always ask for permission. Just because they follow you does not give you any obligation to their body. Please, please always ask. That's why before my followers like give me a hug, I say, do I have permission to hug you back? Do I have your permission to shake your hand? Or hey, do you want a high five instead? I always offer that because I don't want to make them uncomfortable. But this follower was shaking and crying and just nervous. I'm like, you want to sit down? She goes, I don't want to embarrass you. I'm like, oh, sweetheart, you're not embarrassing. Let's sit down. We sat down. I said, hey, have you eaten? No, I'll get something to eat. Have you eaten? No. Okay, I'll go buy you food. So I bought her some food. But we sat with her at her lunch break and just listening to her and just that gives me serotonin is meeting followers because I'm realizing how much I'm giving them the help I wish I had.
But it's like this healing moment of whenever, because that's also part of the thing with the Discord, because I like check in every so often, asking how people are doing.
Yeah.
And it is really, really helpful to hear these people's stories, and it makes me happy. It makes me happy to connect with other people and to talk about what I'm going through because usually, right, I'm the person who's saying, "Hey, how are you doing? Like, have you eaten? What is going on?" But I opened up about the shit that I'm going through. Um,
Mom.
mom. So I'm just gonna go like 5 seconds. My mother, who I is narcissistic. I've tried, and she has been diagnosed. This isn't just me saying, "Oh, she's a narcissist." She has been diagnosed. Um, she has kind of abused me my entire life. And when my dad died, she refused to go to the funeral, and she made me homeless, and she's done like a bunch of horrible things. But I've tried and tried and tried and tried to connect with her and be kind to her and reach out to her because I know that she's traumatized, but
It doesn't excuse her behavior.
it doesn't. And in September, my brothers told me that she tried to take them and their girlfriends out to dinner and flashed a giant ring of some kind. And they found out that she was engaged and they didn't have a good reaction. And so she left them with a giant bill, which I think is ridiculous.
Oh, that
And
is
she never told
ridiculous.
me. She never told me. And then we
No, of
find
course not.
out on the anniversary of my dad's funeral that she married that man that who is 30 years old. So he was like less than 10 when I was born, and she's in her 50s. So, and it's coming about when we're about to finish up the lawsuit for my dad's death because it was a wrongful death lawsuit. And you have to prove pain and suffering. I've been to the mental hospital 4 times since my dad died. I've been suffering, and it just feels like such a huge slap in the face, like the huge text message that she sent to my brothers of just like
It's a big
basically,
fuck you.
yeah, yeah. Catlin knows all about it. But I opened up to the Discord server about
Yeah.
like what's going on,
Yeah.
and the overwhelming like support and love and just kindness just really means a lot to me
Yeah.
because like I've been told by so many people that know my mom but don't know my mom. They're like, well, why don't you just wish your mom congratulations on getting married and all this
They don't
stuff?
know what's going on.
Like, are you kidding me? Congratulations to my abuser who is just like, yeah, absolutely not. I'm good. I'm good with her not being in my life. And that's like another thing around like seasonal depression for me is because my mom around the holidays would always make it such a huge deal of everything has to be perfect. We all have to be in matching outfits. I always had to be in a matching outfit with my mom. And it
Oh
was just, I had
no.
no freedom, no
You
creativity.
had the YouTuber experience that being on
Yeah,
YouTube.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
my family never did that for Christmas.
No,
Luckily, I didn't have that trauma, but oh my gosh.
yeah, I always had to be matching with my mother. My brothers always had to be matching. I never was allowed to pick my own clothes. Um, And I remember one year she made me wear this really itchy dress. I was like probably 7. And
Oh,
I
those
started
are the
breaking out in
dresses.
hives. And I was like, can I please take off the dress? And I remember her like getting down to my level and screaming in my face of that I needed to just cooperate for once in my life with what she wanted. Because it's one day a year where she gets what she wants. It's like, okay, whatever. But yeah, so I don't know. It's really, and it's also interesting because I never told Joey that she made me wear these clothes, but we were going through old photos and he's like, "Why are you always matching with your mom?" He's like, "You
You
do
had no
not look
choice.
like yourself." It's like you don't get to wear your makeup the way you want. It's like,
Yeah,
no.
no, and it's like, yep, I'm trapped here actually. Thank you for noticing.
Yeah, it's like, thanks for noticing how trapped I am. I don't know. And I was going through my closet at I have a lot more warm stuff. I will be honest with you guys. Like, I have a lot more sweaters and stuff like that. And it makes me excited because I live in Texas and it's usually really hot. So I do get a little excited for the winter because I'm like, oh, I get to layer things. And I was going through my closet and most of the stuff was picked out or bought by my mother. And it's not that I am ungrateful or I don't like it. It's just a lot of these clothes have bad memories. And
I
I,
did that. I got rid of stuff because of bad memories.
yeah, I don't really necessarily want to get rid of it. But Joey made a really good point of like, well, why don't we create new memories in these clothes of just happiness? And
I think it depends on the person because some people that's a form of healing, but it's not for everybody.
yeah, well, we did because I have it's the shirt that or the sweater I got engaged in, but my mother
Really?
picked it out for me. Yeah, this
Yeah.
sweatshirt and it has like
Wow.
pearls all over it.
Looks
Oh,
pretty, but I'm glad you have new memories with it.
yeah, and I got engaged in that sweater and it's like it's really nice and I really appreciated that because my mom did pick that out for me and it is really pretty, but I was like, Joey, I want to make
That's what
a
I
new
do. So
memory.
like, hold on a minute. I gotta go find it. So like Nico was my ex-fiance. Oh no, I can't see this. But he was not a bad memory. Actually, it was a really, really good memory. He was the person that made me realize um how a person should treat me as an individual. Here's these two charms I kept because they were just pretty. This is a butterfly charm that he gave to me, and there's this Espeon Pokemon charm that he gave to me, and I keep them because they they're pretty, and I don't have a. And the difference is you have a bad memory connected to yours. I don't, but like some things, I'm just like, I know where you're from. You're so pretty, so I'll keep you.
Yeah, 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 it's very true. I know where you're from. I have like another thing. So with jewelry, I had a boyfriend in high school who cheated on me all the time, like all the time. I didn't know until like we broke up, but he gave me a really nice silver necklace that I put charms on. And Martha and I were in, because we have two bathrooms, but one of the bathrooms is my bathroom because it has all my makeup and stuff in it, you know? And we were in my bathroom just doing our makeup. And I was like, Martha, do you want this? Like, really, it's a really nice, pretty silver necklace. And it has a opal on it and then a Texas silver coin. I was like, do you want this? She was like, oh, it's so pretty. I would love to have this. I was like, yeah, I my ex gave it to me a long time ago, and it's not that I want to get rid of it. I want to give it a new purpose, and I would
Exactly.
rather give it to you because I mean, Opal looks really good on her. Like, so I was like, "Here you go, bestie. You can have
The
this. This is for
bestie.
you." Hmm. Ooh, what is that?
It's a little rose brush I got from the dollar store.
Wow,
I gotta get you one.
it's very pretty.
And it's
I
pretty.
love
It's
all
just
things
so
roses.
pretty. So I'm gonna be getting you one from the dollar store.
Okay, good.
You want gold, white, or you want orange, white, or pink?
Pink.
Pink. I thought so.
Pink.
Just want to double check. All right.
Yes, pink is my favorite color. I want to dye my hair pink soon. I'm just waiting for like the orange to wash out because I don't want it to be like pink orange. So we're
Right.
almost there. Look at this progress. We're
Looks
almost
pretty
there.
though.
The roots take a little longer to wash out, I think. It's okay. We're vibing. Hey, do you want to know a cool fact about seasonal changes and bipolar disorder?
Oh yes, because I have both.
So, people who have bipolar disorder are at an increased risk of seasonal affective disorder. In some people with bipolar disorder, episodes of mania may be linked for a specific season. For example, spring and summer can bring on symptoms of mania or less
Uh-huh.
intense hypomania,
Yep.
anxiety, agitation, and irritability. They may
Yep.
also experience depression during the fall and winter months.
Yep. That is exactly it. That is true. I have a living example of it. I did not know those were linked.
They are. Isn't that cool?
Because I have bipolar 2, which is bipolar B, which is manic depressive. Um, That is true. Holy shoot, that is so true. Wow, that explains a lot. 'Cause I thought, why during these months am I just like depression? That makes sense. That,
Hmm.
oh my gosh, I did not know that. I learned something new today.
We learn something new every day. So, other types of depression can make seasonal depression a lot worse and can lead to many trauma problems if not treated. These include social withdrawal, public or work problems. So sometimes you can get into a bit of a tiff at the grocery store, substance abuse, and other mental disorders such as anxiety or eating disorders and suicidal thoughts and behavior are also linked to SAD. According to the National Institute of Mental Health, SAD occurs when much SAD occurs much more often in women than in men. Winter pattern seasonal affective disorder also occurs more often than summer pattern affective disorder. Therefore, SAD is more common in people living farther north where the shorter daylight hours are present in that winter time. For example, people in Alaska or New England are much more likely to develop SAD than people in Texas and Florida.
Yep.
That's interesting. That is very
Oh
interesting.
yeah,
That
because
is
the weather, the snow, the cold, the temperature change, like it affects you. You're locked in the house because of the snow and you can't go anywhere. That sucks.
it does suck.
You
But
can't drive anywhere. You can't go out. Oh, sorry, continue.
it's okay. It makes a lot of sense with like people that live in Chicago and New York, why their demeanors are the way that they are, you know? Because when I went to New York when I was 16 and I went in the winter time, I did notice people are very grumpy. And I asked my dad, I was like, why are they so grumpy? And he was like, oh, it's because it's New York. I think it might also be some people got some depression up there.
Oh no, agreed. Agreed, especially the traffic. Where
Oh.
it says, "Oh my goodness." No, definitely.
So how can seasonal depression be treated? There are lots of treatments. We talked about it earlier, but go outside, touch grass, see the sun. That is one of like the biggest treatments for seasonal effectiveness disorder. Also, your general practitioner can recommend other treatment programs like
Or light
taking
treatment.
vitamin D. Light, yes, that's what I was about to say.
Light
There is
therapy.
light therapy, which is a special lamp called a light box used to simulate the exposure to sunlight. There's
My
also
parents have this.
what?
My parents have, yeah, we bought what my parents bought one, and they said about it, depending on the person and your weight and different stuff like that, because the weight depends on a lot of different things. Like you gotta be really careful with it because if you overuse it, it can cause some kind of cancer. Um, but I suppose some can. Um, but yeah, they have one and it's very helpful. I thought
Hmm.
there's a lot of different kind of light therapy, like green light therapy, blue light therapy, red light therapy that can help with different emotional and mental things. It works very well, let me tell you.
There's also talk therapy, like
Mhm.
cognitive behavioral therapy or counseling with antidepressant medicine. There's also selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors or
Yep, I've heard of
SSRIs.
those. Yep.
I take one. It is pretty great. I love it. If I don't take it, I'm a bitch. I'm just gonna be honest. I'm a bitch if I don't
I
take
have.
my SSRI.
Did you know gabapentin is actually for depression and seizures?
I need to figure out how to get on gabapentin because I do have seizures and the anti-seizure that I used to take, I can't take it anymore because apparently it affects my hypothyroidism. So they
Talk
need
to
to
your psychiatrist about it. But like,
yeah.
I have non-epileptic seizures, and ever since I've been taking gabapentin, no seizures. If I'm off my gabapentin, there are non-epileptic seizures.
Yeah. It's not great. It's not great.
No, no.
Ugh, it makes me so sad. I don't like seizures. I don't like them. I hate them so
Especially
much.
if you don't remember anything and you caused a mess. Or you found out you were crying over a My Little Pony because it reminded you of your transgender friend. I literally had a seizure where I was crying over Trixie. And I'm like, babe, she's transgender. He goes, yes, sweetie, I know. We have to save her. We have to save her for Ellie. But
Hmm.
Ellie is my transgender best friend. And I was like, we have to save her for Ellie. We have to save her. Because what if other parties don't like her? I was crying. And I was like, babe, why'd you tell me no? He goes, babe, I can't tell Seaver you crying no. So
Yeah.
it's that's a funny story, but there's some nightmares. Like it's not all cute, funny. It can cause some. I was kicking and screaming because I have a Waddle Dee right here, and it's from Kirby, and we did not save one of the Waddle Dees in the game, and I was mad because
Hmm.
I was like, we didn't save the baby. We did. I was mad. Seizures are not fun. Non-epileptic seizures are not fun.
No, they're not fun. They're very dangerous. They're not fun, not fun at all. Ugh, my stomach is hurting.
You're okay. Do you need something to eat? Do you need a minute?
I think I like need a stretch.
You need a break? Want to take a minute?
Probably. Ugh. Okay, I'm gonna pause it.
All right, go
So,
ahead, girl.
we're back. We have our chippies. We have our drinkies.
Strawberry Dr. Pepper,
Mm-hmm.
sugar free.
Does it have corn syrup?
Nope, no corn syrup.
What?
Yep, no corn syrup. None. No oats either.
That means I can drink it.
Mm-hmm. That means you can drink it.
Mm.
It's amazing, let me tell you. It's my favorite drink in the world.
Hmm. You know, I was never allowed to have sodas growing up because I'm allergic to corn. But there's
Yeah,
so many new sodas that,
get Zevia. Go get
yeah.
Zevia. I love myself Zevia. So we can't have anything sugar in it. And so we have to look for a lot of sugar-free and oats-free options. Unless it's like from fruit and stuff like that. Like fructose is fine. But yeah. Or lactose. I try to
Yeah.
avoid. I like oat milk. I love oat milk and almond milk. I like oat milk the most.
Hmm. You know what I think
Hmm.
would be so much fun? Is that when you come to visit me and when I come to visit you, that we make um little dishes for each other that are allergen free. That would be so much fun.
Yes, we will do that. There's so many more options that people realize. Like I'm with the strict diet I'm on. They're like, "How do you survive?" I'm like, "There's ways." Oh, speaking of surviving, you can take my pills, my
Mm-hmm.
supplements. They
Take your
essential.
meds.
Well, it's not meds or supplements.
I still consider supplements meds.
Oh, it tastes nasty. It tastes like dirt.
So, these are some really good chips.
I
These
believe it.
Ruffles. Like, bro.
What were we on? What were we talking last?
We were talking about seasonal affective disorder, and we were talking about boop boop boop, the different ways to
Oh, I help
combat,
you.
yeah, combat these symptoms. Something that really helps me is eating fruit. Berries.
Oh, there's frozen strawberries at Sam's Club you can buy. Like if you can't afford the get frozen fruit, guys, or frozen berries if you can. It's cheaper that way. But yeah, eating fruit is so helpful.
Target has like frozen peaches. Those are so good. Oh my
I'm
God.
sorry, they do.
Yes, they have frozen peaches.
Imagine like making a oat milk, like making an oat milk like vanilla with sugar free. Okay, imagine oat milk with frozen peaches and sugar free ice cream all in one mix. Oh, I'm gonna do that now. But they have frozen peaches. But yeah, no, as I've heard
Mhm.
that fruit. Yeah, the one thing you don't want to do is carbs. Carbs do not help with depression. They do not. You guys, I know the chips are good. Don't do it. It does not have, yeah, don't do what Grace is doing.
Meanwhile, eating chips. Sorry.
If it's a comfort food, different story, but like, I've heard it's really bad. Like, sugar is really bad for depression. I heard that carbs is really bad for depression, like to avoid it at all costs. That's what my doctors told me, is to avoid that.
Yeah, I get that. There's so many different carbs that I can't have that the carbs that I can have, I'm just like, give them all to me.
So we can't have normal bread. I can't have gluten, so we bake our own bread here
Mm.
with a bread maker. So you guys get yourself a freaking bread maker. It's on Amazon and it's easy to make. I promise. It is so worth it.
Yeah, I love bread. Bread is so fun. Okay. Even though you guys, carbs, not a good idea when you're depressed. But what is a very good idea is protein. Fish, salmon specifically.
Lobster.
Salmon is so good for you. It has so many omega-3s. Oh, the good fatty, the fat that you need. I love salmon. I could eat salmon all day, every day, forever.
I love lobster, man. Lobster. Oh. And crab.
You're eating my brethren. I am a cancer.
Time to eat more.
Time to eat, Grace. You say you're cancer, huh? Okay. Breaks off the arm. Eats the flesh inside.
One of my
I don't know.
followers are going to say, my followers are going to be like, Cat, we know what you thought.
Eat the flesh. But, there's like a really big difference between winter depression and summer depression. In winter depression, you are more likely to gain weight, and in summer depression, you're more likely to lose weight.
Tell me then, how the frick am I not gaining weight? I am trying so hard to gain weight. My body's like, hey, no, thank you. I have a weight getting problem. I have a hard time gaining weight because of my high metabolism.
Yeah.
So let's say you have a high metabolism, you will gain weight during this time. And don't be hard on yourself about it. And don't judge yourself and think you're ugly because you're gaining weight. Don't do that.
With summer depression, have you ever had summer depression? No.
Nope. Mine is mainly winter depression. I do have travel around the summertime, but I do not experience summer depression. Actually, that's where I get the most happiness and boost is during the summertime. So I'm not a person who experiences summertime depression. I would be interested in meeting and actually being more educated about that. I'm trying to educate myself more about that because I didn't know that was a thing until recently when I was diagnosed with seasonal depression.
Yeah. According to my research, summer depression can affect your sleep patterns. So you can develop trouble sleeping, poor appetite, weight loss, agitation or anxiety, increased irritability. And it's called summer onset seasonal affective disorder. And I'm going to do like a quick Google because I really do want to learn more about summer depression because it seems pretty uncommon.
It does seem to be, doesn't it?
Yeah, there aren't many like websites on it, to be honest with you.
Sad.
Like the top result is like, yes, you can get sad in the summer.
Well, yeah, dawn, no shit. But I know some people can have general depression, like they can be diagnosed with that. Like we have major depressive disorder. But you can also it can really hit you and you can also have that and have a seasonal depression disorder.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And doesn't mean you can't get depressed during the summer when you have seasonal depression. That still happen. But what it means is that it hits severely hard. My spouse also has seasonal depression, so that does not help us at all.
Yeah, Joey is going through a depressive moment right now, which I think it's going to get a lot better once we move. I think part of it is because he has to drive an hour to work every morning, and it's dark outside when he wakes up. It's 5 a.m.
Oh yeah,
The sun doesn't rise. Yeah, the sun doesn't rise.
That's why when I wake up, I keep my windows closed so I don't get depressed or get like that negative emotion through my body. I know I have everything turned on. I keep the windows closed and I do my makeup.
Exactly. Yeah, he has to wake up really early and then he has to drive to work when it's dark outside. He's like, "This is the worst thing in the entire world. I hate it here." I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry,
But he's
dude."
just communicating though.
Yeah. At least he's letting me know what he's going through. Because we did go through a moment in time where he was not letting me know, and it was causing me a lot of anxiety.
That does not help.
No, no, it doesn't. But for those of you guys listening, summer blues, winter blues, whichever type of seasonal depression that you may have, your experiences are very valid. And just because someone else doesn't have it doesn't mean you should invalidate your own feelings on it. Like, I struggle with that, of invalidating myself, like, oh, no one else is, like, being affected by this, so maybe it doesn't exist, you know? That's what I do sometimes to myself.
You're invalidating yourself. You can't be doing that. Don't do that. No. Because then, like, what if someone else does that? You're gonna tell them to no, right?
Yeah, it's okay. It's also interesting, it says that summer depression is more linked to having headaches or migraines, which I have migraines all the time. I have one right now.
How do you function? Get on meds.
Dude, okay. Update in Grace disability case. I
Oh
finally
shit.
get to see a doctor.
Yay!
They're paying for it. The disability services are going to pay for my visit. I think it's on January 19th. I'm so excited to finally see a doctor about my disability, and I'm praying that they're like, "Yes, you are disabled. Here's $1 billion." They're not going to do that, but still, to get finally get on disability would be one of the most validating things ever.
It'd be a dream, right? Like safety and
Yeah, it would be a dream. It really would be a dream. It would feel, it's like, for those that don't know, so Catlin and I both have seizures. Um, my seizures don't allow me to function in a capacity at which I can have a quote normal job or work for other people. And I've tried, believe me, I've tried. I've tried to the point where I've had several employers tell me, "Hey, you are a liability. You are a huge risk for us. We'd rather not take that liability." So yeah, here I am, trying to get on disability for the umpteenth time. I've been denied a lot, so I'm really hoping that this one
keep
goes
pushing.
through.
Just keep pushing.
Yeah. Just keep swimming, just keep swimming, just keep swimming, swimming, swimming. What do? We swim.
We swim.
You doing okay?
I'm doing great actually. I'm okay. Just trying to pace myself with this.
Yeah. I mean, we have like 10 minutes left, so we're doing great. We're vibing. We're doing so good. So, speaking directly to our listeners, what would be your message about getting through seasonal depression?
Be kinder to yourself. It's already difficult enough that you have this. This is not in your control. It is not your fault that you have it. So don't be hard on yourself. Be kinder. Be more understanding towards yourself. Do research. Also, do a lot of research because I find when I do research, I find out more things about myself. And I'm like, wow, this isn't my fault. And just do what you can and ask for help. Don't do this please don't do this by yourself. It doesn't work that way. Don't do this by yourself. Do this with somebody. Ask people for help. Saying, hey, I'm dealing with seasonal depression right now. Could you help me do this? Could you please help me with this? Or hey, I don't want to take a shower. Could you please encourage me to do this? Like ask for help. There are people who want to see you grow. There's people who want to help you. And the right people will want to be there for you. and talk to a doctor. Everyone's symptoms are different. Everyone's cure, but like helping with it, to get through it is different. So ask for help. Ask them what to do. Ask them what can you do, and really, really go through it, because I'm not kidding. If you're gonna take this, if you could take the steps to help boost your serotonin and help yourself get through this with people there, it'll be so much easier. I assure you.
Yes, friends make all the difference. They really, really do. People that
I called you a lot of the time during November and December because of how bad it was. I called Christina, I called Ellie, I called Lex, I called a lot of different people, you guys, because I admit to myself, I can't get through this by myself. I have to admit that I really need help. And
Mhm.
that's a wonderful thing to admit, because then they'll be like, okay, thank you for telling me that. Now let's see how we can get through this together. We had a lot of craft days. Like, you helped me with like making things, making jewelry, making my Monster Energy mirror in the back. And now I gotta make you a Christmas present, which I'm almost done with. So,
Vibes.
so trust me, guys, talking to someone, do video call. Video
Mhm.
call and do stuff. Like, that house helps me. Like, whenever I wanted to do stuff and I couldn't because I wasn't motivated, I called a friend. I'd be like, okay, let's do this. They will put up with
Mhm.
your they'll put up with your craziness, I promise.
Yeah, that's what they're here for. I mean, we called and I painted that over there, which it's not done. It's almost done.
My mirror is right there. My Monster Energy mirror.
It's a great mirror. I'm proud of you for it. It's really good. Mm-hmm. I think you should sell them. They're so good. They're so
I
good.
plan on I plan on making a Valentine's Day mirror, a Monster Energy mirror, and giving it away for as a prize for a art contest I have planned in February.
What? That's exciting.
So I'm excited about that.
That is exciting. I really hope you get the Cheer Choice Award.
I fought for the girl. I know I won something. I'm not saying this to be cocky, but I fought. And I want to make a voice. I'm not winning it out of anything arrogant. I'm winning it for all the alternative babies who think they can't do anything and who are bullied and harassed. I know I want something. I'm not losing this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I really hope you did.
I
Because if
know
you
I
didn't,
did.
it's rigged. If you didn't,
I
it's rigged.
know I did. I know I did. I'm not trying to be cocky or arrogant about it, but I know I did. I've worked hard for that.
Exactly. You did. And it's well deserved. It's well deserved. Well, this is the final episode of January when it airs. And February always brings a lot of just,
That's my birthday.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm, hell yeah. Dude, February always brings such new beginnings in my brain. Everyone's
Same,
everyone's like
same.
everyone's like, "Oh, Valentine's Day." I'm like, "No, February is like new beginnings. It is the shortest
That's
month
the
of the
same for
year."
me though. I feel the exact same way about February.
Exactly. It's like there's so much. I have had one of the best times of my life in February. Like I've been in some of the best shows that I just adored. And February always goes by so fast, but it feels so fulfilling every
Mm-hmm.
February. So I'm manifesting for this February. For
Yep, manifest.
your birthday's gonna be great. You're gonna have so much fun. It's gonna be beautiful.
I know.
It's gonna be a great Valentine's Day. I'm gonna make Joey something really nice. And we're just going to have so much fun. We're just gonna be kind to ourselves no matter what happens, no matter if we fall back into patterns that we shouldn't fall back into. We're going to be kind, we're going to be compassionate, and show ourselves love because that's what we need.
Valentine's Day isn't just about love to other people, it's about love to yourself too. So love yourself this Valentine's Day and treat yourself this Valentine's Day, because if you don't, I win.
You will. You're going to treat
I
us
will.
good.
I always do. That's what my TikTok's for.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, thank you so much for sharing, my love, my sweet one. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate
You're
you so
welcome.
much.
Girl, of course. Sorry, one of my rings broke and I had to replace it. But no, girl, of course. Anything we can do to help you.
Wah. All right. Everybody stay safe. Don't die. If you are suffering from any form of depression, please reach out to us in the Discord. Reach out to Lynn, and stay here on this world.
Stay
All
alive.
right.
We need you.
We
We
need
need
you.
you.
We'll see you in the next episode. Bye.
If you're watching us over on YouTube, here are our memes of the week, carefully curated from our Discord server. Let's get into those memes. At the end of every episode, we spin our wheel of emotions to learn a new feeling and how it correlates to trauma. We have spun the wheel. It landed on confused, but we've already done that. So, come on. Come on. Anything but green. I want something in blue. Ooh, there we go. Critical, skeptical, sarcastic. Okay. So I know I spun it like a couple times, but I wanted something along these lines. So critical is in the anger category. It's also skeptical and sarcastic. Ooh, skeptical, sarcastic. So, a lot of times when we are dealing with trauma, we can become very critical of ourselves, of how we're dealing with it, and become very skeptical of whether or not we are going to heal from it or what the healing process looks like for us. Especially when it comes to seasonal depression, we can be very critical of how we're dealing with it. What I would strongly advise everybody listening is to be kind to yourself. Yes, it's hard. Yes, other people may be, quote, doing better than you, but there's also going to be other people who are doing worse than you. Let's stop comparing ourselves to other people. Let's stop being so critical, hypercritical of ourselves, how we're dealing with it, and show ourselves love. Be that friend to yourself that you wish you had, or be that friend to other people that you wish you had. I want to check in with you guys. I want to make sure you eat something today, something good for you. I want to make sure you drink your water. Okay? If you're not drinking your water, I don't know what you're doing, babe. Let's drink our water, okay? Drink your water. Don't be on your phone before you go to bed. Put your phone up. Go outside, okay? Go see the sun. Touch the grass. Be kind to yourself, all right? And just a quick reminder before we part, this podcast seeks to forge a strong community, so please don't hesitate to join our Discord to share with others and for podcast updates. In the Discord, we have so many different channels of discussion that include more than just trauma, and we wish to create a place where you can be heard, so please join us. You are needed and appreciated, and we'd love to meet you, know you, and support you. Okay? And special thanks goes out to all of our Discord users. You guys are the best. Thank you for being on our Discord. Thank you for sharing. Thank you so much. If you'd like to support our podcast, we have a Patreon. Different tiers can get you a bracelet like this, which is a handmade bracelet made by me, Grace, or you can get a sticker. The links are in our description. We also have a bonfire where you can get custom apparel designed by yours truly. Any support helps us out a lot, so please, if you feel compelled to, like, share, subscribe, and rate the show over on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. I love you guys so very much. Remember, you are capable of a fulfilling life in spite of your circumstances and your trauma. May you rise from the ashes and be filled with peace, hope, love, joy, and understanding.
I'll see you guys in the next episode. Goodbye.